Hello, what is up? This is your buddy Alertwolf. Gonna bring you another anime review catch-up video. And this time, I am on Hunter x Hunter. Now, it'll be Hunter x Hunter episodes 71 through 75. This is the rest of the Greed Island arc that I'm putting out right now. So here's what's gonna go down. You're gonna get these 5 episodes, then you're gonna get episodes 76, 77, and 78 in another catch-up video, and 79 will be its own video. I believe that's where we're up to it. So yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. But as a matter of fact, I'm gonna do one more video and then the next video and release them all at the same time. Then after that, it is my what's next on the agenda? It will be my review on Green Blood. Then I'll start breaking into the weekly anime, and then I'll try to catch up on Beast Hunters as well. So. Alright, now I had to take notes because normally, you know, you could do, well, not too many notes, but normally you could do this whole thing in, you know, 1 or 2 episodes in your head, but, you know, it's 5 episodes. I want to make sure I get the gist. Now, basically, from episode 71, right, you know, it's all about the end of Razor's fight. So basically, Hisoka, Gon, and Killua use a 3-person technique to catch Razor's ball at the beginning of the episode. So Gon catches, Hisoka uses his gum, you know, his gum nen ability to slow down the ball once he catches it, and Killua does the dangerous job of bracing Gon and buffering Hisoka. Razor figures out how good each of them are just by doing that, and he's the most impressed with Killua being able to manage his nen so well. Okay. Oh, and episode 71, I believe, is called Bargain and Deal. Alright. Alright, so then that allowed Gon to return the serve, or to serve actually, or throw it at Razor. He put all his nen into this one. Like his aura flame was huge, and he threw it at him with the rock attack at full force. But basically Razor decides to return the serve. So like volleyball, and he returns it, but he returns it right at Gon. And they're like, oh, if Gon dodges this easily, if he manages to dodge this, he's gonna do it. And Razor's like, he's not that type of kid. He's gonna try to catch it. But lucky for Gon, because Razor's absolutely right, Gon passes out, and the ball goes past him. Now Hisoka realizes Gon doesn't want to win that way, and so he uses his the rubber part of his nen ability to rebound the ball right back at him, and he does, and then adds the gum ability to stick it to his arms, and which pushes him back because he's taking the full force of this hit all the way, and you know, he's out of bounds, he loses, and so he ends up losing. Basically, with this done, he gives Gon the backstory of how he met his father, how he was a murderer, and his father gave him a chance not to hold back on his kid, and you know, and all this, and he's like, go find your dad. So we get Razor's backstory. Not that interesting, honestly, but it does push the story forward, and it gives you a better idea of Jing. And remember, guys, I am not, for those of you who are new to this, I didn't say this in the beginning, but to those of you who are new to my Hunter x Hunter reviews, just know that I do not read the manga of Hunter x Hunter. I've only watched the anime. So there's going to be things that I won't know that you might, doing both. But what you get out of me is a pure anime perspective of the thing. So I won't know what was left out of the manga or what wasn't, because honestly, I understand when you know both sides of it, your review is going to be different. Since I don't, I can only judge it on what was presented to me, not what was left out or how it was done somewhere else. And I didn't see the older anime either. I've only seen this one. So this is where you're getting my perspective from. But let me continue. Alright, so basically, they get the patch of shore card. They get out of there. The bombers hit them up. They hit up Tetsugaya, and they let him know that they found out about them getting the card because they eliminated, one way or the other 15 members of the group that used to be part of their group. So they're all either dead or locked out. And being that they're the bombers, they're probably all dead. And this infuriates Gon. Gon says he's going to challenge him right then and there, even though Gon is exhausted and nobody's in any shape to fight. They quickly intervene and stop that from going down. And then later, Tetsugaya yells at him for it. He's like, "Dude, what are you thinking? None of us are in any position to fight. We'd all get killed." And he's like, "Stop being selfish," and you know. So then they all come up with a plan. Now, the idea is they could run from them for about a week, but that's not enough time for anybody to heal. So then the decision was that Tetsugaya figured out a way to stall them for 3 weeks, to give Gon and them 3 weeks. And they have a sort of partnership deal going on, and they split up the 2 remaining cards that they needed, and figure this is a good way to do it. And that's pretty much how that episode ends. You know, I'm not gonna give you. Could just give you an individual rating on this. So this episode was pretty good, top notch. Definitely a 4 out of 5. Great action, moved the story along, and you finally get a sense of pace going through this. All right, so then the next one would be episode 72, which is Chase and Change. Now, basically, in the beginning, we find out the Phantom Troop is on a Ben Games trail, and they're tracking him right now. And Hisoka goes off to go, you know, and he meets up with the Phantom Troop, and there you go. Now we get this episode is it's all about the chase and the training, basically. So Gon is training for the 3 weeks he has straight, doing a specific type of training so he could get that fireball down, you know. So he's trying to get that fireball down, but he's really not making any progress. At the same time, what Tetsugaya's his strategy was to get all the accompany cards he can get his hands on and keep buying to make a run for it. And then what happens is they figure out that they have more company than them, and then it becomes an arm race of people trying to get a company. While Tetsugiro was trying to buy the company or trade for the company, you had the bombers basically threatening and killing people to get what they wanted. And finally they figured out that that they were going to the shop, and so they stuck out the shop. And once they had more than, obviously they're using unscrupulous methods. So once they had more than a reasonable amount more, the chase began. And this chase is just teleport to teleport, teleport to teleport, follow. And this goes on for a few days, actually. That's how many companies these guys were playing with. And, they even realize, because what the bombers don't realize is Goryenyu, he's not, he's helping Tetsugaya and his team out, and the other guy has no idea that that's going down. So, but they figure there's somebody, but they don't know who it is. So this is pretty good, but they managed to dodge them for a pretty long time. Now, as this is going on, basically you have Killua giving up on Gon's training and is like, dude, we gotta shift gears. I have a strategy that just might make us win, and so I need you to practice doing this. And so he changes his practice regimen. He gets good on what he needs to do to win. Now, I'm sure that's, yeah. Now, eventually, Tetsugaya goes to the real world. When he goes into the mansion, he gets called in, and the boss, him and his team, and the boss is canceling the job, and his lawyer says he should pay him anyway. And the boss is very distraught. He's crying, and we don't know why. Now, the bombers follow them out, but figure they could get it in the real world, but if they can't find them, it's a bad look. So they go back. And that's pretty much that episode. Alright, now this episode, it was a training episode, but not much got done. I'm going to give this episode a 3 out of 5. It was pretty good. It wasn't boring. I enjoyed watching it. However, it didn't compare to where the last episode was. But I understand it, it's just, they had to fill those 3 weeks. And actually, for a battle adventure shonen, that was pretty quick use of 3 weeks. They're actually pretty good on the passage of time. I mean, this is Dragon Ball. You can stretch 5 minutes to like 70 episodes. So, you know what I mean? I mean, think about how long that Frieza fight was when the planet was being destroyed. 5 minutes before the planet blows up. 10, 12 episodes later. But anyway. So then we got 73, which is Insanity. And basically, we find out why the rich guy decided to call it quits. And that's because his girlfriend, who's this hot young thing, who actually wasn't after him for the money, was in a coma. He was going to use one of the cards you could take out, which was the, I forget, it was a wish card or whatever it was. It was basically like a Dragon Ball wish. He was going to use it to heal her and bring her out of the coma. But she died, and it sucked. She died like, a few days before they were going to win anyway. So, so that's what goes on. Now, basically, that's, then they're wondering, it's been 10 days, Gon and the rest are wondering why they haven't come out. That's because the bombers have been staking out the entrance, hoping they'll come back. Now and finally, what they don't understand, and they figured something must have happened with the guy paying it, but they're like, whatever. And what they don't know is Goryenyu switched cards with them, so he had all the good cards, and they had copies that weren't good. And so the plan is he'll meet up with Gon and the rest and give him the cards and combine cards. Actually, they were going to give Gon were going to give him the cards after they were after they beat them, and he also told them why they didn't come back. Now, then we get more. Then we get the beginning of it's another game of tag, part 2. And this time it's not the. For a second, man, I was like, no, not another episode of tag. But this wasn't bad at all. So they went in and out for a couple of locations, and you start to get what Killua's plan is when they start acting really afraid and like frightened children, and they decide, you know, Gon runs his mouth, and then the other 2 run away, and then they get chased separately by different men, and then the fight begins. Now, Gon takes on the main bomber, and he gets beat up a little because he can't really. The other guy is the strongest out of the 3 of them, and he is definitely stronger than Gon. Yeah, directly. But Gon has a strategy, remember, going into this. And so the strategy, you know, he was basically, he wanted him to get serious and to learn into a certain point and to use his technique. He has some sort of counter. And this was a card-based counter because we know from the previous episode that that's what he was training in at the end. So we don't know what this is, but he's getting his ass kicked, so to speak, but he's minimizing damage as fast as he can because, you know, he's blocking, he's using his Nen, and you know, at first he thought Gon was so weak he didn't need his bomber techniques, and then he started to realize otherwise. Now, the next thing that happens is Biscuit separates. I actually wrote down this dude's name because I don't remember them saying it. Barra, or I think that's his name. Because she tricks him, and they actually had, and each Biscuit and Killua actually had extra company cards that they hid. So they hid the company card, and basically teleported those 2 away to a different location, the beach location, where she fought him so that nobody else could get involved. And she even tried to tell him that. And they were fighting each other, and she was kicking his ass a little, he fought back a little, and he thought, haha, I'm gonna win. And then she transforms. I like to call this man mode. I don't know what it's really called, but she turned into a straight up dude. Like Adam's apple broke out, his penis started hanging low. I mean the ball sack started hanging low a little bit. Started going like this. No, I kid. But she beats the crap out of him, and she's like, I don't like going this far because it's a little too manly. And I'm like, yes it is. So, but that's that battle, and that was pretty quick. You know, nothing too special, but it was pretty funny. I was shocked to see her look like a man. She looking like a man. But next we get Killua does the same thing. He teleports with Sub. I think that's the dude's name. I don't know. He says he's gonna perform some experiments. So first thing he does is hit him with lightning palm, which electrocutes him and like temporarily, like, you know, disables him for a second, but it's not enough to beat him. And he's like, all right. So then he takes out his specially made yo-yos, assassin yo-yos, and they're super heavy and with centrifugal force. They can like crush stone and trees, and they're going at each other. Now, this dude tries to out-strategize Killua because he noticed Killua's blocking to one side. So he figures he'll counter the yo-yo, you know, giving him an opening. Well, he's gonna hit to one side, counter it, give him an opening, prevent him from hitting, you know, and counter the yo-yo and take Killua out. So he does this attack. He hits Killua, and all of a sudden he's rocketed with like a sucker punch to the back of his head, which was a second a second yo-yo. He's like, I never said I had one yo-yo. I actually have two yo-yos. And he's like, and he's half knocked out. He's like, what? It's like, you lured me? He's like, yeah, what was with that? Because, oh, dude, I faked, like, how I was blocking. Like, I was favoring the side. I faked that. Because what happened was, when you went after my opening, you left yourself open. And so I got you. What up? And so, basically, he's like, it's like, you planned this from the moment we got out here? It's like, what? My strategy? I've been out strategizing you since the beginning. And then he hits him one more time in the head with the two yo-yos lightly, but then electrocutes him to knock him out. And thus, what's-his-face was taken out, sub. And pretty much, and that, there you go, that's the end of that. Now, what I will give this episode, I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. You know, maybe, yeah, 3.5 out of 5. It was definitely awesome. It was a lot of fun. You know, the beginning of it was a little slow, and then the going stuff was okay. He was getting his ass kicked, but showing a lot of heart. But I have to say the biscuit stuff, especially the Killa stuff at the end there, I was cracking up, and it was good action. It was good fun. Because I loved it, you know, Killa was still messed up, and he took that guy out with ease. That's all I gotta say about that. Alright. Alright, so next up we got 74, which is Victor and Loser. Alright, basically, Gon and Genthru, or if that's how you pronounce his name, you know, the leader of the bombers, get serious. This is serious now. What's-his-face amps up his aura to his full potential. And, you know, and Gon goes it up too. I mean, he manages, what he does is he manages to hit him with his flower attack, right? With a touch to make something explode. But he uses Gyo to block. So then he picks up on that. And the next time he uses Gyo to block, Gon uses Gyo to block, he just gut punches him because he realizes if you're using Gyo, you're only blocking one spot. So that really does some damage. It easily breaks a few ribs. Gon keeps getting back up, and he's like, this kid is insane. Why does he keep getting up? And, you know, I haven't crushed the spirit yet. So he does it again. This time, he takes the block. And basically, Biscuit had trained him how to fight this guy. And told him all his strategies that he's going to use to beat him. And if you see it coming, you know, with the plan that they have, you can accomplish something. And excuse me. And it's at this point that Gon says he's gonna get selfish because he just figured something out. So he's gonna alter and deviate from the plan. Now, honestly, I was expecting him to do try his technique that he didn't master. That's what I was expecting. And then, okay, it didn't happen, but in no way am I disappointed because, you know, he tells Gon to quit because now I'm just gonna attack both hands, and you're gonna have to choose which arm to keep, and I'm gonna get you, you know, and then I'll keep doing that until you're down to nothing. So he attacks, he grabs both limbs, and I thought, you know, for sure Gon was gonna do something because in his head he's like, oh, I got a plan. I'm gonna deviate from a plan, be a little selfish. I thought he was gonna like cut loose, but no. He catches both hands, an explosion goes off, and then the bomber dude is like injured. He doesn't know where it came from, and he's very dazed and stunned, and he's very weak. And he looked. Gon took the hit, man, and lost his hand in the process. And he's like, why would he do that? And as he's figuring it out, he sacrificed his hand and transferred it to his foot to kick him in the face while all of his energy was diverted. So he sacrificed his hand to land one kick on him, basically, and by sheer luck missed the finishing blow because he was using his rock, paper, rock hand to finish him, and dude trips on a pebble and it saves his ass, because that would have been it for him. That would have been it for him. A sucker kick to the sucker punch or sucker kick to the head. He's dazed. And that would have been a TKO. Go's strategy wasn't bad. He just lost by a little dumb luck. And if he was only a tad bit longer in the reach, you know, he would have hit him. Then Gon's like, I give up. And he's like, oh, see, this kid's insane, you know, but he at least, you know, in his head he's rationalizing it. He landed a hit in. Of course he's ready to give up now, but that's how crazy this kid is. And this kid's like, nah, now I'm done being selfish. Time to get serious. And the bomber dude is like, oh no, what the hell is this kid? What do you mean get serious? You just lost him. You lost your hand. Get serious. And he warns him. He's like, just give up now. I'm getting serious. Give up now. If I use this card, you're done for. And this is when Bomber Dude comes up with a plan. And his plan is to trick Gon into he surrendering, and then he's going to crush his windpipe so he can't, and finish him so he can't use the card. And Gon is a little kid, man. You gotta remember, Gon's a trusting little kid. So he'll fall for a dumb trick like that. Like, you and me might not fall for it, but Gon is gonna fall for this trick every time. So he does. And he gets punched in the throat, and before the other blow comes out, he manages to block it. And even though his windpipe was crushed to an extent, it wasn't completely crushed because he could still breathe. But he can barely talk. He's like, dude, you messed up. Now I'm using this card. And he uses the card. And the card had a jar full of gasoline that he broke and poured all over the bomber dude. This means his exploding touch isn't going to work. And this was all part of their strategy. So that means it's a game of tag again. Because if he tags him, you know, he could use counter, and that's when he puts the time bomb on you, and then it doesn't go away until you catch him and say, you know, I caught the bomber. Hence why he's, dude, I crushed your windpipe, I'm gonna win. So he starts chasing Gon, you know, and falls into it, you know, and then they battle back, and then there's a pitfall, and they fall into the trap, and Gon falls with them. He's like, all right, so he's still here with me. Either way, I got him. And when he looks around for Gon, he's like, dude, it's already over. And he's standing in a little cave, because this was pre-planned. He did a teleport, not a teleport, but a rock teleport to make this huge boulder, which you saw in the training session that was made for this event. Falls from the sky, plugs in the hole, and like falls on the bomber dude, but he's not crushed by the rock, but now he's pinned in a situation where the only way out is through Gon, and at this point he's like, this kid's insane, I'm done. He's like, I give up, and it was too late. Gon winds up, hit him with a rock, paper, rock fist. Gong! And it's his name. And just takes him out, knocks him out. Thus winning the final battle. Now, they get out of there, they meet up, the three of them meet up, tying up their dudes, and they take out the Archangel card, and they're going to use it to heal everybody. And Gathura, right? Or Genthuyu, whatever, Genthuyu. I'm not good at that dude's name. So Bomber Dude is like, treat the most injured Bomber Dude, the one Biscuit took out, with a card if you can. And she's like, no, we plan to. We're gonna clone it. We have 1 and like 5 clones, and we're gonna use this to heal everybody. First they heal Gon. he gets his hand back. You know, and they're gonna use it to heal the bomber dudes, but it turns out that Goryenyu didn't want to use the card to heal people. When he figured that out, he had maxed them out in such a way that the clones wouldn't work. So then they used the real card to heal the bomber dude. And now Killua's left, still injured. And he's like, basically Killua sticks up for the bombers and like, listen, man, these guys are not amateurs. I used to be a contract killer, bro. I killed way more people than these guys. And finally, they convince him that it's okay to heal these guys. So in the end, he gives them, you know, everybody gets healed, and he gives them the use of the breath of the Archangel, which heals Killua. Now, then Goryenyu informs them of everything that has happened with everybody else. You know, the fact that they stayed, well, that they found out that they stayed, and they spoke to the owner, or not the owner, the rich dude, and the rich dude, you know, he decided, he did pay them, they all got paid, and then he got $4 billion for his trouble, and he's like, but they're like, wow, that's a lot of things in business, like share the wealth. He's like, don't worry, I did. Each of you has $1 billion now. So there you go. He split the $4 billion amongst themselves, and he's like, once this happened, it was always clear we were going to keep the cards. The cards should go to you. And so Gon gets all the cards. Now Gon has all 99 cards, and then the event for the 100th card happens, or the 0 card, and when that's declared, basically you have all these people teleport in and surround them, and that's how the episode ends. Now, what am I going to give for this episode? This episode is clearly a 4 or 4.5 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. There you go. The action, the Gon fight was excellent. The best fight I've seen with him thus far. You know, he got to use his techniques in an actual battle as opposed to a game where he has time to charge up. You know, he really got good, you know, and you got to see Killua's strategy with Gon work, you know, that they could strategize and do things properly together, even though Gon took some risks. And Gon beat a guy, an opponent who was clearly stronger than him, is pretty freaking awesome. So I loved every second of it. And it shows you their character, that they never planned on killing the bombers, only wanted to beat them up, and planned on healing them after the battle. And that's pretty cool. That's just the guys and girls they are. So I love every second of that episode. Was good. I wouldn't exactly give it a perfect score there, a 5 out of 5, but it was definitely a 4.5 out of 5. So, all right, and to the final episode of this review, which is episode 75, and this is just the wrap up for it. And this one's called Jing's Friends and True Friends, and basically this is just the wrap up to the Greed Island arc, and this is basically it. So the other players show up as they did at the end of the last episode. You find out they're just other players, and because what happens is there's a quiz that's set up at the end of the last episode to get the last card. The winner of everybody in the game gets to play. The winner of the quiz gets to keep the last card. So these guys show up figuring, you know, this Gon's gonna win all the reward money. That if they win the card, they'll sell it to them for, you know, 12 X amount of $1 billion. And they're like, all right, whatever. So they do the quiz, and and Gon ends up winning with like a score like a 80 something. And there you go. Now, during the quiz, a Benge walks over, and he's hooded and cloaked to the bomber dude, and he's like, I caught the bomber, and walked away. I thought that was priceless. And you saw the smoke leave him. And there you go. He's completely done with that. So I absolutely loved that little tidbit. And you know, he sizes them up, and he can't believe how strong they've become in the short amount of time. And they even as strong as they become, he clearly knows that somehow they beat the bomber dude, and go beat the bomber dude, and clearly Gon is not as strong as the bomber dude, so they must have used some sort of strategy. So that's pretty good observation from him. This allows them to go to the green, or allows Jing to go to the Greed Island Castle, not green, right? And basically, Gon meets some game masters, List and Dwan, and they find out, and we find out some backstory of the game and everything else. That Jing and his 10 friends made the game. They named the game after everybody's first name. So, except for Duong, whose real name was Wong Duong. Wong. I don't even know how you pronounce that. There was a W in front of it. And he tells the story of how Jing just took it away just to make the name of the game work. And he's like, and List's like, but dude, you're you know, you've never had better luck. And you know, it's a funny scene there. They go back and forth and joke with each other. He gives him the special book that can take the 3 cards out, and he's like, you won, and good shit, basically. And there you go. Alright, so then he goes back, he sees Biscuit and Killua. They start to decide what they're going to keep. Now, Killua and Gon are on to what they're keeping. Obviously, Biscuit only wanted the blue earth pearl thing, you know, that blue jewel. And so you find out what they keep. So basically, what they keep is the number 2 Patch of Shore card, the Blue Planet card, which is 81, and 84, the Paladin's necklace, which is Gon's necklace. Now, I had a feeling he was going to keep it just because honestly, it looks cool on his character. So I had a feeling he was going to keep it. And, you know, and that's pretty much, oh, do you know what I did forget? And I completely forgot in the, basically back in episode 72, I was supposed to mention that we met a new member of the Phantom Troop, and it was number 4. It's because I started rattling off the cards. It came back to me, and he's Kalatu Zoldyck. He's a Zoldyck. Now, I had to look up his name online. I don't think they mentioned he's a Zoldyck. And by the way, I don't like a Zoldyck. I don't look anything up on the wiki because I don't want to know. You know what I mean? I don't want to be told ahead. But the page I do have that is saved is just the character list, and not even a description of them, just who they are and what arc they're from, or what affiliation they're from, right? Only because a lot of times, you know, I'll watch an episode and I'll miss the name, and then, you know, sometimes I need to go back as a reference, and that's the only time I use the Wikia for anything Hunter x Hunter related. But alright, so back to where I was. So they go back to the real world. I told you which cards they kept, and finally Biscuit finds out why. So here it turns out that the number 2 card, Patch of Shore, was actually when you use the Paladin's necklace. It was a card in disguise, and what it was in disguise was in a company. Now, I knew when they said they could take a card, I knew it was going to be in a company, but I didn't know how they were going to pull it off, because I knew that the company card wasn't allowed. And so this was pretty genius of Gon to do this, and Killua. And of course, you know, Biscuit kept her blue ball, and she named it Planet Chan or something like that. And they're gonna teleport to Jing, and they say, come with us, you know, Biscuit, come with us. And she goes, no, I better not, you know, I have other stuff to do. And really, she didn't want to get too attached, she said in her mind, in her dialogue. But he's like, well, I'm taking my best friend with me, so I'm pretty good. And Killer was like, don't call me best friend. He's all embarrassed, and Biscuit's like crying, and it's pretty funny, and it's pretty touching there. And then they teleport away, only to find you know, and they teleport away. Oh, and I almost forgot. And basically, Gon, before he teleports away to find his father, he explains how he knows that he can teleport and use the Accompanion, because it only works for people you've met. And he goes, and if you remember, in the beginning of the arc, when he got there was somebody in his book already before he met anybody, and it was Nig. Alright? I ain't gonna go to anything. And that was an anagram to Jing, and he figured that one out. So that's why the Accompanion card would work. And that's what happens. So he figured his dad must have taken him there as a baby. And that's pretty much the episode. That is the end of the Greed Island arc. What an arc. Now, this episode, it's just a wrap up. 3 out of 5. You know, nothing too special happened. Nothing at all. It was just the end of the arc. It was the wrap up. You know, so whatever. Nothing too much to say. Nothing more to say than what I've already said. And I know this video has gotten super long because I've done 5 episodes, so I'm gonna just break down the entire arc and rate it. So for the whole arc, I'm gonna give this arc. It started very slow, a lot of training. Even though I enjoy watching training too sometimes, it was there's a lot of slowness to this arc. A lot of build-up, and then finally we got to see some of the fights, and the fights definitely paid off. So if it wasn't for how good the fights were, I'd have probably given this arc maybe like a 2.5 to a 3. Because of the fights were so good, I'm gonna give this it a 3.5 out of 5. I think that's more than fair. It was very good towards the end, and it was, you know, it was fun. And I will say this, that's why I watch Hunter x Hunter, because it's not so much the fights, it's because I love the characters of, I love them all actually, but specifically, you know, Gon and Killua, the little boys' adventure, you know, these super powered kids' adventure through this mythical and mystical and crazy world, you know, that they're running through. I absolutely love it. So it's always a lot of fun. This is an action adventure with emphasis on adventure. So that's what I say about that. All right, guys. You know, that's it for me. I'm looking forward to the next arc that I'm about to start on. I'm gonna bring you that video after this one. So I believe it's the next 3 episodes, but I don't know. I haven't watched them yet. I'm gonna watch them all back to back and then put out a video. So look forward to it. So click it up if you like it, comment if you must, and please subscribe if you can. And this is your buddy Alert Wolf signing out.